Yeah, good morning, guys. Okay, let me share my screen. Cool. So, is it my screen is visible? Can someone confirm, please? Is it my screen is visible and my voice is clear?
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Yeah. So, thanks for joining. This is a Java full stack demo session where we would be discussing what are the things we are going to cover and what is the approach, like how these sessions will be delivered. And after completion of the session, what kind of things you would be learning and how much programming you will be doing that. This is what just we will be discussing entire course. We will be discussing that. This course is completely designed for the beginners and the person who wants to switch their job, or you want to uh, upgrade your skills. For them, this course is designed, and this course starts with the core Java, where we would be covering the all the programming fundamentals, like what is programming and how to write a hello world example. We'll start from there, and we will be covering the in applications, what are the concepts are used. All those concepts will be covered here. Okay. And during this core Java learning, first we need to get familiar with the our dev environment. Like the moment you join in any organization, okay, you need to set up the your dev environment. So when you are working with when you are working in any project, what are the basic things or basic tools you must aware of that. That is the first thing we will be learning. Then we will start with our the programming language learning, where we are going to start with that. The dev environment setup, where we would be setting up the your JDK, like what are the latest version is available in the market. It's JDK 22. So we'd go with the JDK 21 or 22, whatever the latest is available. And then we need to use the one IDE. So where you need to code, and we need to debug, like no. So what are the when you write any program, typically what you do, you need a one editor, we need a compiler, one debugger, and there are other tools to connect with the databases and all these things. This all these things is available in one place. That's nothing but the IDE. So here we would be using the IntelliJ IDEA. So IntelliJ IDEA, we are going to use it here. The community edition you would be using here. Community edition we are going to install and we would be using. This is a community edition. It won't cost you anything. It's a free. Once you're done with that, in order to work with the databases, like when you are want to persist the data, and we need to choose the one of the databases. Okay, we will be using the database name called the PostgreSQL, and this we will not install in local. Instead of that, we will use the cloud. That's a render.com. This is a place where we can create a DB instance, and we would connect by using the one of the database clients. We can use it here. This database client can be uh, our own what you can call our own program, or you can use the third party tool. This is a dbeaver. Dbeaver is a universal database client. By using this dbeaver, you can connect with the any database. Yeah. How to connect with the databases, I'll be showing that here. Then we need a JIT. So what are the code we are going to type, or we are going to type, you are going to maintain in your maintain in your project, that needs to be maintained versions, no. So especially when you are working in a project, the people will be sitting in various corners of the world, and everybody should have the access to the source code. And whenever they make changes, on top of your changes, if they want to do any changes, like they can push their changes, and if something goes wrong, you can revert back to the previous version. Whenever the new version is released, we need to freeze the code, and then there will be a tags will be maintained, and whenever there is a bug, you have to give it as a hot fixes, and the how you are going to use the effectively JIT, we will be covering in that. Then we have something called the build tool called the Maven. Maven and Gradle is the build tools, and where you want to maintain the standard directory structure, you want to maintain the dependencies. All these things will be done by the Maven. These are the basic things, the basic requirement, or we can say that no, these are the tools we must install in our laptop. And on top of that, whatever we are going to use it as a Docker. Okay, we would be one more thing. We are going to install the Docker desktop. We would be installing here. This Docker desktop is which will help us to run Dockers or creating the Dockers. This is a place where we are going to use it here. At times, what happens, some of the tools, if it is required, we may not install. Instead of that, we'll create a Docker image, and we are going to run the Docker image, and we would be using the Docker images as a containers, services we would be using in our laptop instead of doing the local installation. And our projects also, whatever we create, in order to deploy that projects, we will create a Docker images, and that Docker images we may push to the render.com. So these basic things we need to install. Once we install that, dev environment is ready. This is a place where we would start with the core Java, and the core Java starts with the very basics, like a hello world example, and what are the data types, and how to write the if else conditions, or what are the new changes it happened in a switch statement. Those are all the things we would be discussing. Then object oriented programming, collections, reflection, then threads. So these core concepts will be covered in core Java. And once you are done with the core Java module, then we would be moving to the databases. Before going to database, realize what database you are using. Whenever you are using any relational databases, you must have the knowledge on the SQL. Okay, this is SQL is a common language. SQL is a common language for any relational databases. So let me go ahead here. Okay, cool. Okay, this is a place where we will learn about the SQL. Okay, when you are learning the SQL, we will learn all DDL commands, DML. The SQL group has given the standards, and those standards they have given in the form of a SQL, and how we are going to connect with the database, and how to insert the data, retrieve the data, then performing the CRUD operations. Then you can, when you are working with the reports and pulling the data from the multiple tables, using the joins, how we are going to do that here, like using the window functions, like how you can use the row number, row level analytics functions, like row number, then you have a rank, dense rank. So these are the things we would be learning in SQL. This SQL we would be learning by using the PostgreSQL. We would be using the database called the PostgreSQL. Okay, or we can go with the MySQL as well. Anything we can go ahead with that. So we would go with the PostgreSQL. The most of the projects these days, I'm seeing that the PostgreSQL is most widely used. The reason is some of the features in a PostgreSQL is like JSON support they have. That's where people would prefer. It's like you have a relational database, and at the same time there is a support for the JSON data type. Other databases also these days they are adding that here, but PostgreSQL has got the they started JSON support a little early. So there are times when you want to store your in your column entire JSON object, you want to store it here, and then that object has to be converted into your Java objects. those things are supported. There is a support in PostgreSQL. Okay, that's one of the advantage of that here. And this PostgreSQL, we would be taking the hosted service. We are going to take it from the render.com. Yeah. Once we're done with that here, now then the concept of the JDBC we would be learning. So how we can connect with our Java application to the database. So you have developed there is one database. This is the database I'm going to take it here. This database, you are connecting with the client called the dbeaver. Okay, and another one is you are written an application. Your application needs to talk to the this database. This application needs to talk to this database. In order to talk to this database, we need to have a interface or API. Just you are going to use it here, and by using this API, you will be talking to the database, underlying database. Okay, it can be a MySQL or it can be a PostgreSQL, whatever it is. So how are you going to talk to that here? This is your application. This is what we are creating, the application we are going to create it here. This Java application, and this Java application needs to talk to these databases. In between, we are going to use it as a JDBC. So by using this JDBC, you would be connecting with the underlying database, and you can perform all the CRUD operations we can perform on this database. How to do that here, and what is the driver, and how you will be connecting from your application to the database, cloud database and local databases, and where do you maintain the properties. Those all the things we will be learning about that. So this is what we would be learning here when it comes to the JDBC, what exactly we are doing here. Yeah. And another thing is, once you got familiar with all these things here, this is a place. So this any academics are any training you attend. So the basic things, these things will be covered. But on top of that, you have to work with the external files. Okay. So when you're working with the external files, most commonly used files are JSON, XML, AML, properties. These are the file system. We must have the experience with the working with these files. So most of the times, the data which you are dealing with, either it comes in the form of a JSON or XML or ML. The properties will be typically used for the configurations, how we are going to configure your server details or your initial credentials. Those all the things will be maintained in property files. Same thing can be done it in ML as well, especially JSON, and then you have Excel. Okay, Excel. Then you have something called the CSV, and there is something called the PDF. So how we are going to work with these things, you will be learning that here. Hey, if I get the data in the form of a JSON, how I'm going to read that JSON data. Let's take it as one of the simple example. I'm going to open the ChatGPT. Okay, we'll take it as a one simple example you're taking here. Create a product with the name, ID. Okay, create a iPhone products with the ID, name, okay, model, price, discount, currency, 110 or some 50 records, 50 records in JSON format. Something I'm asking the ChatGPT, I'm asking here, hey, create a iPhone products with the ID, name, price, discount, and currency. So there are 50 records. Just it is going to create it here. This is JSON data. It is creating here. This JSON data I want to read, and I would be so I need to compare that here. In US, iPhone 12, how much it will cost, and in Europe, how much it is going to cost. I need to do the comparison. So this you are going to read it like, for all the countries you are going to read it here. Just imagine that you are reading for all the countries. Like where you need to do a small analytics kind of a thing. You need to find the where is the iPhone is cheaper. Okay, which country it is cheaper. You want to find that. You want to find that here. So now here we need to read this JSON data. I have to read it into the my Java application. Then I would be doing the basic analytics. I'm going to do that here. This is a place where you will be using the collections, whatever you learn. And then finally you are going to find that, hey, the iPhone, if you're taking the 12, okay, iPhone 12 or iPhone 14, if I take that here, so in like which country it is a cheaper price, just you can find that here. You can write a simple like once you get this data, yeah, you can take that here. Distinct models, you can take it here. Suppose user is asking that, hey, can you find the iPhone 14? Like now, what are the data it is available? Model iPhone 14, which country it's a cheaper price? Which country is a cheaper price? So you can compare with the other countries. And there is a, again here we have got the another challenge. So different currencies you are having here, and then when you're taking the currencies, like when you're doing the comparison, you need to convert into the one base currency. Yeah. So that currency conversion, again, you should have that information somewhere, and then you will take that that day what is the currency price, like no approximately, and you will convert the price into the base currency. You will convert, and then you start comparing, and then you are finally you are saying that here, hey, iPhone 14 is cheaper in US when it compares to the other countries. These kind of analytics you need to do that are like no day to day you would be doing these kind of things, you would be doing that. So for that we have to have the experience with working with the JSON and XML, CSV file, and PDF. Okay, so this is another example I can give you that like you have a data of the 1,000 customers you are having here, or like let's take it as a big number of customers you are having here. These customers has subscribed, like no you have got the like no you are offering the 4 5 services you are offering, and these guys have subscribed to these 4 5 services. At the end of the day, I need to end of the month I need to generate a invoice for the each customer. So that customer invoice I have to send it as an email. So these customers has used this data, and what are the data they have used, what are the what are the services they have used, and based on that services we have to calculate we have to create a invoice, and that invoice we have to send it as an email. You have to send that invoice to the respective emails. Here we would be maintaining the customer details, and here you are going to maintain the what are the services you are offering, and what are the things you are subscribed, you are going to maintain in another table. And at the end of the month you are doing the your like no the customer one. If you take the Airtel, yes, Airtel is a service provider. If you take that here, you are subscribed for the broadband, you are subscribed for the postpaid, you are subscribed for the one prepaid bill, prepaid number you are subscribed, like no. So he has subscribed for the three services, and the three services he might have taken the some plan in the service. He has taken the some plan, he has taken that. Based on that you have to calculate the what is the amount you're supposed to pay, that you have to calculate that, and finally you need to generate a PDF, and that PDF has to send an email to this customer. This example I'm giving here where exactly we would be using these PDFs. Like no you need to know how I can this data, how I can convert into the invoice PDF. For that there are a lot of libraries are available. One of the most widely used Apache FOP and a PDF box. So these are the things you would be taking here, like now how to get familiar with these tools and how we are going to use, and finally generating these invoices. PDF, how to generate that you will be learning. And at the same time you want to create a report in the Excel, how we are going to do that here. For that again we are going to use the third-party library called the Apache POI. Okay, POI is a library. When you're working with the CSV, there are multiple libraries are available. OpenCSV, like, so that's one of the libraries. How to use these third-party libraries in order to solve this problem? Like when you are working with the AML, there is a library name called the SnakeML. How to use SnakeML to read this AML file to the our Java objects, or Java objects to the AML file, how we are going to convert, we will be learning here. And this knowledge is required for the anyone whoever wants to be in the software industry, either be a tester or an Android developer, or you want to go as a full stack developer. These are the basic things everybody must aware of that. Now you can take a call. Hey, should I continue as a full stack developer? Should I go for the testing? Should I test automation side? You can decide that. And the base for any developer, these things: one programming language, one database, and working with the XML files, understanding of the XML files, how it will be, how will it work, and do get familiar with the your dev setup. Okay, Docker, what is a Docker, Maven, Git, and database clients, databases. Once you have knowledge on that, then your learning path you can decide on that, which side you want to go that. So I would strongly recommend any fresher or whoever planning to switch that here, the main focus is given this area. Once you learn these things, on top of that, you are going to learn the frameworks in order to work in the projects. Yeah, I'm speaking for more than 20 minutes. Any questions so far? Yeah, you may have the question that, am I going to do really these things? Yes, you are going to do these things you will be doing in the classroom. I'll be giving the lot of assignments, and at the same time, in the classroom, some of the examples we'll take, and we will take the problem statement. We'll come up with the class diagrams, and we'll come up with the solution. Then we are going to code for that. Any questions so far? Is this clear at least? Can at least someone respond, please? Okay. Yep. Thank you, Priyanka. Once you learn these things, then you are going to learn about the UI. Again, UI also, we have got a lot of things you are having here. To get started with the UI, we will be seeing that HTML. Okay, then there is something called the CSS, JavaScript, and then you have a then Angular or equivalent of that framework. We can use it here. We will not spend more time in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This is you can do the self-learning by going through the W3 school or the equivalent site. We can go and can learn about that. So we may discuss the Angular. We are going to discuss how to create a Angular projects and how you will be uh, working with the Angular. What are the components? What are the services? And how to create your own pipes. Those are the concepts we will be discussing in UI. So these things I will explain, but we will not go you will not spend too much time on HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We will be pointing to the exactly where to go and learn that here. You need to do the self-learning. Then we have then Angular we'll go in detail. But these basic concepts you are expected to learn that here. In order to learn Angular, we need to learn one more language called the TypeScript. This TypeScript is a superset of a JavaScript, and you are going to learn about the TypeScript. You would be learning that here. Then you will be learning the Angular. Cool. Now here, once you are done with that here, then we will be moving to the Spring framework. There is a concept called the servlets and JSPs that may not required, like no. So these days everybody is going with the RESTful web services. Completely UI application will be decoupled from the your server side applications. We will explain what is a servlets and JSPs, how it works. Then we may do a simple example. We'll do that here, so that we'll understand the how request and response model works. Once you have done that here, the MVC design pattern, how we are going to use it, we will have a session. We will be doing the small project also. We will do that here, mini project in Servlets and JSPs. But as a developer, once you enter into the organizations, these days, most of the applications, they are going with the RESTful web services. So this knowledge will help you to understand how this MVC works. What is a server? What is a HTTP request? What is a HTTP response? Then how we are going to connect your UI with the server side, and the how your servers will be talking to the another database server. These things you will be learning in Servlets and JSPs. You are going to learn, and the next one is we are going to learn about the Spring. Okay, if you take the Spring Boot, we will start our discussion with the Spring Boot. Okay, the Spring Boot is a opinionated framework in order to develop the Spring based applications, and Spring also has got the lot of modules it is having here. So the core, and we are going to take it as a Spring core, and then Spring JDBC, AOP, MVC, security. Okay, these are the and modules like Spring JPA. That's nothing but the Spring data. So and then the mail, and then we will be learning about the when you're learning Spring. When you're learning that, one more concept is DB migrations. Okay, how we are going to do the DB migrations. Okay, I think this shouldn't be mixing here. Okay, I'll tell you that here how we are going to do this. So these are the some of the modules, the core modules. Every developer must aware of that. We'll be covering these modules. We are going to cover that here. Okay. Once you are done with that here, this is a place. I missed the one part here. You should know how to write a unit testing here. Like in this, when you're learning these core Java concepts and all these things, we are going to work with the another framework called the JUnit 5. How we are going to write the unit test cases for your code. You will be learning about that. Okay. So now here, once you are done with the Spring, almost we are we can say that we can, once you are completed this module, we can say that we can go and comfortably work on any projects. Now this is a place where you need to learn about the some extra things like DB migrations. DB migration. When you are doing the DB migrations, how we are going to do your database scripts migration. So whenever you are working in a project, let's take it as this my project I'm working on this year. We'll put it as something LMS. I'm giving you some name I'm giving here. This LMS is a product, and this product, when you are developing, it requires the n number of tables. Okay, so each, again, we'll have a different environment. This is a dev environment, this is a QA environment, this is a production environment. Okay, this has got the three environments. We are going to take it here. This is a dev, this is a QA, and this is a production environment. Okay, production environment, we are going to take it here. In dev environment, it's like a kind of a playground. Any developer can go and make those changes, and they can push it that, and things if it is a working or not, you can experiment with that. Typically, you will whenever you are developing a new feature, you will create your feature branch. You are going to create it here. This feature branch you would merge to the dev when things are working in a dev, and this feature branch you are going to merge to the QA. Okay, you are going to merge to the QA when your QA is, everything is working fine. This QA is going to be merged to the main, and that is a code which is in the production. The code which is in the production, okay, prod. So when you're taking here LMS, my project, if I'm taking here any feature, whatever I'm going to develop that here, I'll be developing in a feature branch. Once my feature branch is, I will be merging to the dev and I'm deploying into the dev. If things are working, then I will merge my feature branch to the QA. If things are working in a QA, from the QA, it will be going to the prod. This is a typical approach. Any project, when you are working on the development, they will be following that here. Now here, the problem is here. Suppose in my feature branch, in order to support the, like here you have a DB for the 3 instances of the DB you are having here. My dev DB, my QA DB, my prod DB. Okay. So in order to support this feature, I need to create one new table. I need to create it here. This table I can go and create it in dev. You will have a access where you are going to create a dev. You can create it here, QA, and this is a prod. You can go and create that, but you will not have access to QA. You will not have access to prod as well. Then what we will do here is, and I need to ensure that the table, whatever I created in dev, it should be created in a QA and it should be created in a prod also. One option is like, no, you create a script, you give to the person who is having the access, you can go and create that here. Here also same thing, but there is a chances that the persons may miss that. In order to avoid that, we will be using the DB migration script. You will be using that here. One is the Liquibase, is a database migration script. Another one is Flyway DB. Okay, these are the two database migration tools we would be using. Like in our, whenever I move my code to the dev, whenever I merge to the QA, and these migration scripts are going to execute in what are the database it is connected, those things will be executed so that across the environments you will have the same tables. Across the environment you will have the same tables, and all DB structure will be the same. In order to do that, we would be using the migration tools. We are going to Liquibase or Flyway DB you would be using here. Spring has greatly simplified the uses of this Liquibase and Flyway DB. How we are going to use that, you will be learning about that. Once you have done that here, then this is a place where you need to deploy your projects into the cloud. You need to deploy that here. Suppose if you are using the GitHub, there's something called the GitHub pipeline, GitHub Actions. That's a place where your DevOps engineer will be configuring the, whenever you push the code, there is a CI and CD jobs will be running, and that code is going to push to the code is going to be pushed, and when you push the code is going to be compiled, and it is going to create a packaging, and that package is going to be deployed into the servers. It is going to be deployed that here. For that, the orchestration framework they will be using called the Kubernetes, or Kubernetes would be the most preferred way people will be doing in the organizations. And we need to get a little bit, not little bit, we should have the fair understanding of the how this DevOps works. Okay, how this DevOps works. We may not go entire DevOps things, like as a developer, what are the things are required? What is a Docker? Okay, how we are going to create a Docker image, then working with the SonarQube. Okay, how we are going to SonarQubes, like static code analyzer, how we are going to use it here. Jenkins, how we will be using the Jenkins, the uses of the Jenkins. These basic concepts, every developer must aware of that here. So I will show you that here in the projects. When you're creating that here, how do you configure these things and how we are going to use it, and when there is a build fail, how we are going to analyze that, and how you are going to fix that and redeploying that. These things I will be discussing at the end. I'm going to discuss here. And this, during the learning journey, each module, whatever I created, entire source code will be shared with you, and a lot of assignments also we are going to share module wise. We are going to share that, and as a team, like if you become a 2 3 members friends in this group, they can create a common repository how to work like a team and solving the problem. You can work as a team, like in a projects how the people works, similar thing. You can start working on those tasks, and what are those tasks and all these things I'll be sharing. Okay, and everything is hands-on, like nothing, no ready-made examples will be taken. So everything we are going to code. Yeah. This is one of the tools we would be using that here. Oh, luckily there is a DB migration. How we are going to use it here? This is one project we are going to take it here. We can take a previous batches source code, like if you are going here github.com Java with LWL, okay, / Java with LWL. So here you can see all the repositories, whatever the batches we created, and each batch, the source code will be available here. You are taking these many projects we created when you are doing the core Java. If I go here, this is a place where we can see that here SRC. So day wise with the example, okay, JSON example. If we take that here, how we are going to read JSON data, how to work with that. We'll be giving the each and every example we are going to give it here, and at the same time, you can take it here. What are the projects we created? This IPL stats, how we are going to work with the server, IPL stats. If you take that here, what are the things like? No, this is an assignment question. You have a player details, and you need to find these details. You have to find that here. So wherever the assignments are there, those things also will be added into this repository. And the end of the day, I'll be pushing the code, and you can check out this branch, and then you can keep it as a reference, and parallelly you will be creating your own repository, and you would be working on that. So entire thing is available that batch wise. We will be creating one what do you call repository. All examples will be pushed to this repository. This is a multi-module project. You would be creating that. So this is the way the delivery of these sessions are going to happen. Yeah, any questions or any concerns, guys? Make it little interactive. So yeah, do you have any questions?
Hi, this is Farhad. Uh, Actually, I'm working as a BA, but planning to like do a PMP and join as a project manager. So as a project manager, definitely need to understand the process, how the dev environment works, how developer works. So do you think it's going to help me a lot, this training? Because I'm not going to implement anything, but I need to help them, and I need to understand the full process, at least the basic process, because different company works different way. It's
Yeah,
not like one company, there's like very few we find the similarity. Most of the time there's no similarity. So you already mentioned those are the general items we need to know. So my question is, at least if I can connect each of the items or components, at least if I know the very basic of a dev environment, how the technical items done, I think that will be very helpful for me to suggest teams like what they are doing, because they're going to cover a lot of items in their meeting. I have to attend the technical meetings, non-technical meetings. So I need to understand the process, what they're talking about. Maybe you are going to show us some different tools. Maybe the same tools in another company or my company use another tools, but it works the same.
yeah,
Maybe the tool name is different.
yeah.
So what is your suggestion will be? And another question is, all those things can be complete by how many months and how many days a week, and what is the class, like the session duration?
Okay. See, this course is completely designed for the developers who is starting their career.
Really?
One another one is the person like he is working on the QA, or he wants to move to the Java side, or is from the completely different background. It's a completely the coding sessions. This is one. Yeah. You might have seen this how much code we have done that there will be a each concept you would be doing the coding maximum coding till things will be there. And for your requirement, I don't think so you need to attend this entire course. I mean, you will be wasting a lot of time, I can say that. Instead, you can have the uh, completely you are not going to do hands-on. I mean that your company will not expect you to do that also. Yeah. At least you should have the fair understanding of the what are the tools where it fits, and in my project management or day-to-day works, and how to guide these young developers or experienced developers in a right way, right path. No, that's what exactly you are looking for. That. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, right now I feel that sometime I need to review the code, because when developer add a comments with the block of code, and it's better if I can understand the code at least, because implementing code is definitely is different level, little bit high level, but
Correct.
reviewing code is not that high level, I would say,
Yeah.
because writing a code, run something, that's challenging, but review I think is little less challenging than writing. So at least if I can understand the code, because I am not, I'm familiar with those, like what you're talking about, because before I worked as a automation Q engineer, but
Mm.
I worked 1 years, but it's not like the very beginning of my
Okay.
coding.
Got
So I can take that challenge, I can do hard work, but yeah, ultimately I'm not going to join a developer. But if I can understand this all the items, even I can add those items or in my resume, and the interviewer at least will know I know the basics. That will help my
Yeah.
BA career or project management career. That's why I want to, at least I need to know the JDBC or Java basics and the Dockers like
Okay.
Jenkins I saw before. At least basic, some discussion I need to do with my teams. I
Mhm.
need to understand the basics, at least what they're talking, why they are talking. I need this purpose, but I am not going to be a developer. I don't have that age anymore.
Got it. Got you. Yeah, I mean, this course definitely it is going to cover end-to-end life cycle of the projects, whatever the typically we do in our organization. I may not cover everything because it will take a lot of time.
Yeah,
As a developer and as a tech lead, what are the common things it's required, and how we are going to code, and these days you are seeing that GitHub Copilot, and a lot
yeah.
of tools has come in, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
code suggestions.
Most of it's automation now. Everything going to automation.
Correct. So those tools also I'll be explaining that how effectively we can use it. That we use the GitHub Copilot something here if I'm asking let's take this one of the example I'm taking here. I'm selecting the one class I'm selecting here. Let's put it as this way. I'm going to write it as a Java class I'm writing here. Generate prime generate yeah, numbers. Okay, cool. This is the one class I have taken, and where I'm going to write it as a public list of. I'm going to write it as an integer. I'll be saying it as a generate prime. Let me put it here. Generate prime. So int LB comma lower bound and int UB. This is what I did here, and automatically it is suggested that hey boss, you are trying to do this. Is this the fine for you? Okay, it has given me the suggestions. Now I need to decide whether it's right or wrong. But if it is
Yeah,
here, it's wrong because we never define the is prime method. Okay, now I'm going to define a is prime method, and when I'm putting here this variable name, I am not convinced with that. I no. Then I'm waiting for that to generate the code. It generated. Okay, I will be happy with that. and I'm going to say that here, let's take it as this is a place where I'm going to say that here add. I'll be taking it as a generate prime numbers, format code, format and simplify. So this is going to format and it does the simplify of my code. Like now is there, it is going to give the suggestions. No? So this is a method. It is saying that here is prime could be done it as this a formatted way. It is going to say that here instead of that use the square root. They're saying here I'm going to inject code where I would be deleting my code. Okay, this is what something we are going to do this here. Yeah, now there are some things under here. Like you should be in a position to understand what exactly the square root of this number is doing. Why did they use it? So that's the thing. Like these days, like coding become really after using the AI tools, it became very simple, and at the same time, there is a more chances of that sometimes it may give the wrong code as
because
well.
you need to review very carefully
Exactly.
because
So this is the one case, and where you are going to say that as a same thing, generate JUnit. I'm going to ask the generate a JUnit. So this is going to give me all the possible test cases it is going to give it here. So testing the prime numbers, and it said that here, hey, you have these are the combinations. You can test this here. This you'll be saying here, like no, the test cases, everything it is generated here. Now I would be adding to my project, and you are going to work on that. In order to do effectively, in order to use that things effectively, you should have the very good understanding of that here. If you have good little experience by taking that tool, you can you can have the more productivity, you can say that. Yeah, go ahead please, you're asking
sorry
something.
So after completing this course, do you think any candidate can like understand the exceptions, means all the loops,
Correct.
then the methods,
Yeah,
then parameter declarations, like
sure.
those?
Yeah, yeah,
And any student can ask question if he or she has any question, because I
yeah.
know that this training needed long time, but maybe you are covering pretty short time, and everything
No,
is time
so
constraint.
it's a
So
2.5 months course, close to 2.5 months. Okay,
yeah,
daily 1.5 hour session. It is comes around 140 hours something. It comes. That's not a small time. Yeah,
yeah, 5 days or 6 days a week?
6 days a week.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, so like no, we will take a simple scenario. Like no, okay, let's take it as this. Anyhow, I opened the code since you are asking that what is the approach. Like no,
yeah.
I need to develop one EMI calculator. Okay, so when I'm taking here EMI calculator, I'm going to take it here. So when I say that here EMI calculator, it is saying that here, hey, this is a formula, you can use it, and you are going to generate this. I would be asking it as an assignment. Can you develop a EMI calculator? Yeah, there we can go and ask for this, and it is going to generate the code for us. Okay, let's take it as this is simple example. This is one of the simplest example. You are going to take it here, and here we are writing a things public. We are going to take it here. Why we need to take it as a public? Like when you're learning the first time Java, whenever you are defining the methods, there are a lot of things we need to. Okay, there is a public, there is a return type, there is a method, there is arguments. No, you we can think like no, this method is like a human. I'm saying that hey, I'm going to give you this three parameter. You tell me my EMI amount. Okay, that means I'm expecting something written. No, so
Yeah.
what kind of return type you are expecting? I'm expecting the double value, and I'm going to say it as a EMI calculator, where I would be saying it as this is what. Hey, this is my principal amount rate. If you give me the principal amount and rate and time, I'm going to tell you that what is the EMI is supposed to pay. So this we don't know what is this like no the this function, like no, the financial experts they have given this function. Hey, in order to calculate your EMI, this is a function you should use that. As a developer, we may give less importance to the hey how this function they have come from and all these things here. We know that some BA or the expert who created this, and we are going to use it here as a developer. This is what, like, no, once you are done with this, my EMI calculator, where I am, yeah. Now I need to test this, whether my EMI is working or not. I need to test that here. Next place where you are going to write a main method, I'm writing here. Yeah, let's put it as this simple thing, main. Yeah, a lot of code is generating. I will not use in the classroom these AI tools. Okay, just for now here we are going to use it here. Now I'm going to run this here, which would be calculating the my EMI. This is what it's taking here. Okay, if I'm taking this is a thing for 5 years. If I'm taking here, rate of interest is a 10. How much I need to pay that? Whether it's right or wrong, we need to see that here. Okay, here time into 12 you're doing here. That's the reason I'm saying it as it is a years. Yeah. Why did they multiply with the things? Because he has given in the first years. If he gives the months, then there is no need of multiply that. This is where the developers are thinking like, no, hey, whether I need to take that here. This is the same thing. You are going to see it in online EMI calculator. So this is the example. We can take it as a car loan or home loan, something you are taking here. This is a personal loan I'm taking here. I'm taking the 1 lakh I'm taking here, and the rate of interest is at 10%, and I'm going to take for the 5 years. Okay, 5 years I'm going to take it here. So this is the amount I need to pay. In terms of months, again, it is converted into the 60, and it's going to get it here. In terms of years, it is going to. I need to compare with my output. Okay, let's do here. Anyhow, that code also automatically, this is a one. Like now there is a rounding issue. How do you round this here? So here it's saying that 1124, and where this is going to say it as a 1125. So because it's a rounding issue, like how to do the rounding. So these are the things we will be covering in the session. How we are going to round, what is the rounding and ceiling, and what when it gets the differences, how we are going to handle that. We would be learning. This is a way the session will be taking some example. We'll code it and we'll discuss what are the problems. And if you write a small UI for this is application which we developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a way sessions will
Thanks,
go.
Lakshman. Sorry,
Yeah.
other participants. I took maybe extra time.
Oh, that's good. Like no. So yeah, when you ask, then I can the same questions may be having the others also. They may not ask that. It's a good somebody asks. Yeah, we can give explanation about that. No. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, it looks like there is no. Yeah, go ahead, Priyanka.
Yeah, the course duration is 2.5 hours, right? Sorry, 2.5 months, right?
Yeah.
So after that, we have any doubts? How can we touch with you?
We'll create so the career IT will create a one group, so we can connect in that group. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Thing is,
means you after the training sessions after 2.5 months, so you able to help us about the resume and like interview preparation, something like that.
okay, another important point, the interview preparation and whatever we are doing here, in the examples when I'm discussing or when I'm delivering the session, hey, this is the typical questions the people will ask you to check that whether you have experience in that area or not. I'll be discussing in the classroom itself. We'll not have the separate session for the interview preparation. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Guys, and have a nice weekend. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lakshmi.